إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه أما بعد. Then we are back today reading Kitab al-Siyam min al-Fiqh al-Muyassar, the book of fasting from Fiqh Made Easy, fi Daw al-Kitab wa Sunnah, in the light of the book and the Sunnah. And we have reached al-Bab al-Khamis, al-Babu al-Khamisu, the fifth chapter, fil i'tikaf, regarding al-i'tikaf. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. وَفِيهِ مَسَائِل, and in it there are issues. There are a number of issues or affairs that we need to address. Al-Mas'alatul Ula, the first of them, Ta'rifu al-i'tikaf wa hukmuhu, the definition of i'tikaf and its ruling. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So firstly, okay, we have a few people joining us. We have Amir and Abu Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
طيب عامر، أنت جاهز أن تقرأ لنا تعريفه؟
أولا تعريفه, to understand it, knowing
its definition.
Its definition, okay. الاعتكاف في اللغة, the meaning of اعتكاف in the language, لزوم شيء لزوم الشيء.
No, you have alif lam there, so it can't be shay'in, right?
Yeah. I got here to remain somewhere.
Yes, to stick to something.
Okay, to stick to something.
To remain somewhere, to remain to something, to stick to something, right? Because it's shay, not necessarily a makan, to stick to something. This is the lugha.
نعم. وحبس النفس عليه, and to hold the soul to it.
And hold the soul or hold oneself to it, yes.
نعم. وفي الشرع لزوم المسلم المميز مسجدا لطاعة الله عز وجل. To remain for the mumayyiz Muslim, the one who's not, I guess, under the age of not being held accountable. Well, mumayyiz is one who is not held accountable, but he's getting rewards for his good deeds, correct?
Not necessarily, but I understand where you're coming from. If you're referring to mumayyiz, balig, and all of that together, right? Then mumayyiz would be one who is not a respondent. Mumayyiz, though, here means one who is able to distinguish the truth from falsehood, or this animal from that animal, or mumayyiz. He has the ability to distinguish between certain things. He knows right from wrong when you tell him certain things in the house. But that doesn't mean, for example, you're not mumayyiz, Amir, right? You're mumayyiz as well. So it means basically here from that time up. but it's not only for the one who has not reached like he's not puberty, but he's able to distinguish right from wrong. No, here it means from that time and up. You understand?
نعم.
So luzum Muslim al-mumayyiz, meaning the Muslim who has the ability to determine right from wrong, knows a giraffe from an elephant, knows that a strainer doesn't hold water, these types of things, all the way up until later on, right? Meaning me and you, and older than us, right? This is the mumayyiz. As we'll see, inshallah ta'ala, as he's going to talk about it, bismillah.
Okay, inshallah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So لزوم المسلم المميز مسجدا لطاعة الله عز وجل. So remaining of that mumayyiz Muslim in the masjid for obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
No. Just to answer the question. Just we'll let Abu Muhammad read real quick, inshallah, the hukum, inshallah. But just to answer real quick, Facebook for some reason didn't want to attach today. Almost time. It didn't want to work without me having to do a bunch of stuff, and it would have taken 15-20 minutes for me to connect it. So طيب يا أبو محمد حكمه.
طيب حكمه وهو سنة وقربة إلى الله تعالى. So it is a sunnah and seeking nearness to Allah the Most High according to His speech عز وجل. أن طهر بيتي للطائفين والعاكفين وركع السجود, which roughly translates and purify my house for those who are لطائفين, circumambulating.
Yes.
والآكفين, don't know that.
عاكفين اعتكاف.
اعتكاف, okay. والآكفين is from اعتكاف. والركع والسجود, for those who prostrate and bow in prayer.
No. In order to purify my house for those who circumambulate, and for those who make itikaf, and those who bow down and make sujood, right?
No.
وهذه الآية
وهذه الآية دليل على مشروعيته حتى في الأمم السابقة. So this is the ayah that is a proof of its legislation even for the nations that preceded previous nations. Okay. وقوله تعالى, the speech of Allah the Most High, ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد. And basically, do not approach your women while you are making i'tikaf in the masjid, in the masajid.
وعن عائشة رضي الله عنها, and on authority of Aisha رضي الله عنها, and the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam كان يعتكف العشرة الأواخر, the last 10 من رمضان, in Ramadan, حتى توفاه الله, حتى توفاه الله, until Allah caused him to pass. Right? Tawaffa is similar to the word mat, right? Tuwufi would be he passed. Tawaffa is he caused him to pass, right? So hatta tawaffahu Allah, until Allah caused him to pass. So this is the evidence right here. وأجمع المسلمون على مشروعيته. The Muslims have come together and made a consensus. They have gathered together. They have a consensus upon its legislation. وأنه سنة, and that it is a sunnah. لا يجب على المرء إلا, it is not obligatory upon a person except أن يوجبه, and يوجبه, except if he makes it obligatory على نفسه, right? كانه ينظر, كأن or كأن ينظره, as such as if he makes a vow, if he makes a vow or an oath to do itikaf, then he must do it. Other than that, it's just sunnah. It's not obligatory unless a person makes a vow. فثبتت sunniyatuhu, or sunniyatul itikaf, the fact that itikaf is sunnah, wa mashru'iyatuhu, and its legislation, bil kitabi wa sunnati wal ijma'. So it is it's the fact that it's sunnah. That's why it's called sunniyatul itikaf. The fact that itikaf is sunnah and its mashru'iyah, its legislation, is established by the book, where Allah said what He said up above in the two ayat, and in the kitab, such as in the hadith of Aisha, and ijma', the consensus of the Muslim nation. Ya Amir, Yallah.
المسألة الثانية شروط الاعتكاف. The pillars of i'tikaf, or the conditions. الاعتكاف عبادة لها شروط لا تصح إلا بها, وهي i'tikaf is worship. In it there are conditions. They're not correct. They will not be. It will not be correct except without them.
No.
أولا أن يكون المعتكف مسلما مميزا عاقلا. It's that the mu'takif, the one who's making i'tikaf, is a Muslim, a mumayyiz, somebody who can distinguish from right and wrong, and aqilan, someone with proper intellect.
No.
فلا يصح الاعتكاف نعم فلا يصح الاعتكاف من الكافر. The i'tikaf from a kafir is not accepted, or it's correct. ولا المجنون, and somebody who is not mentally sane. ولا صبي, and somebody who didn't reach ولا صبي غير مميز, and someone who didn't reach the age of distinction.
Yeah, child, a child.
Yes,
right?
child. أما البلوغ أما البلوغ والذكورية, the male, and as for the male
bulugh, as for bulugh, which is puberty.
So a boy that reached puberty?
No, there's two different things. Amal bulugh, as for puberty, with dhukurriyatu, and being a male. فلا يشترطان.
How do you translate that, please?
Then they're not made conditions.
Oh, okay.
Right? What are the conditions? Muslim, mumayyiz, aqil. Muslim, right? Just looking at it, and he's going to explain a little bit more as we go. But Muslim, here we can take from that male or female. As we said, if you look at the definitions of the fuqaha, wallahi, you understand so much They take time to define this stuff in a certain way for a reason to make things easy. So Muslim, male or female, mumayyiz, right? Someone who is able to distinguish, and older. Aqilan, they're not crazy. They have their intellect, right? They're not crazy. فلا يصح الاعتكاف منه كافر. That cancels out Muslim, or Muslim cancels that out. ولا مجنون, aqil cancels that out. والصبي غير مميز, مميز cancels that out. أما البلوغ, as for someone saying, well, you know, you have to be in puberty. Little kids can't spend a night in the masjid. أو ذكورية, meaning they can't spend the night in the masjid. They can't do itikaf. فلا يشترطان. And this is not, these two are not made conditions. فيصح
فيصح الاعتكاف من غير البالغ إذا كان مميزا. And the i'tikaf is correct from somebody who is a baligh. No, from somebody who's not a baligh but is a mumayyiz, someone who can distinguish. So somebody who didn't reach puberty but can distinguish from right and wrong.
Right.
وكذلك من الأنثى, and that is also for the girl, for the woman.
For the woman, female.
Yes, female.
Female. So does that mean a baby? If a man, for example, he wanted to take his baby to the masjid, little bitty baby to the masjid for a couple of days. He could do it, but it's not going to be considered itikaf for that child. That child doesn't know what it's doing. That 2-year-old, 3-year-old who is not mumayyiz doesn't know what it's doing. Doesn't mean he can't be in a masjid with its father or mother who's making itikaf. That's not a problem. Just it's not going to be considered itikaf for that individual because that individual is not mumayyiz, right? For it to be itikaf, has to have, as we'll see next, Abu Muhammad is going to read for us, the intention. Then doesn't mean they can't be in the masjid with their parents, but it just means it's not going to be considered itikaf for that person. طيب يا أبا محمد.
نعم. النية, so the intention, لقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم, according to the speech of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, إنما الأعمال بالنيات. So indeed actions are by the intentions. فينوي المعتكف لزوم معتكفه. So the one who wants to make i'tikaf makes an intention that he will stick to the place of i'tikaf. قربة وتعبد لله عز وجل, seeking nearness and worshipping Allah by way of that.
No. Here we have فينوي المعتكف. We can see here what happens here. This is the fa'il, mu'takif, and mu'takaf, meaning his place of itikaf. Mu'takif, the one making itikaf. Mu'takaf, the place of itikaf. وثالثا يا أبو محمد.
ثالثا أن يكون الاعتكاف في مسجد. So the other condition is that the i'tikaf be in a masjid. لقوله تعالى, according to the speech of Allah the Most High, وأنتم آكفون في المساجد, and that you are making i'tikaf in the masajid. Surah Baqarah. ولفعله صلى الله عليه وسلم حيث كان يعتكف في المساجد, and according to the action of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, whereby he made i'tikaf in the masjid. ولم ينقل عنه أنه اعتكف في غيره, and it is not transmitted from him that he made i'tikaf in other than the masjid.
Exactly. Rabia. So far from the conditions of itikaf, right, is that the person be Muslim, mumayyiz, aqil. The second thing, he has to have a niyyah. He's not just sleeping in a masjid because he's homeless or because his heat's out at home, so he wants to stay in the masjid, or his AC's out at home, so he wants to stay in the masjid where there's AC. No, he's having the niyyah of doing this to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Thirdly, that it be in the masjid. That it be in the masjid. Not to say I'm going to go to my workplace and I'm going to sleep in my office on the couch and, get closer to Allah there. No, must be in the masjid. Warabiyan. Let's see why does this turn there? Fine. Warabiyan an yakun al masjidu alladhi ya'takifu fihi يعتكف فيه تقام فيه الصلاة الجماعة. That the masjid he makes itikaf in is a masjid that makes congregational prayer. Now for us, might sound weird. What masjid doesn't make congregational prayer? There's masjids on the road, for example. There's masjids in Muslim countries, especially Saudi Arabia, for those who have ever driven. There's a masjid on the side of the road, right? They don't really have Jamaat. You could pray Jamaat, but there's not necessarily a Jamaat. People just stop by whenever. Sometimes there's not an imam. Sometimes there's just a place to use a bathroom, make wudu, and pray. It's just a place for you to have a clean place to pray. It's dedicated for salat. It's not for anything else. However, there's no regular imam. There's no anything. It's just used for people on the side of the road, and people are traveling all times of the day and night, so there might not be salatul jamaat. So the masjid that he needs to be in needs to be a masjid. He's making it to kafir, needs to be a masjid where there is salatul jamaat. وذلك, and that is إذا كانت مدة الإتكاف. That is, if the time of itikaf, the length here, in other words, trying to see how I could bring this page right. There we go. The muddat al-itikaf, the length of itikaf, تتخللها صلاة المفروضة. صلاة المفروضة. Salatun mafrudatun. Mafrudatun. So what does this mean? That means if the length of itikaf is going to be or take place during تتخللها خلل or khilal min khilal, meaning during Salatul Mafruda, because we can get from here, even though he doesn't mention it specifically, we can derive from this that itikaf, there's no amount of time that a person can make it. There's no set amount of time for itikaf. Itikaf could be a few minutes, could be an hour, could be a day. So if a person wants to make itikaf in the morning time, he just says, man, I'm off today, man. I don't want to sit at home. I'm going to get caught up doing stupid stuff on YouTube or TV or something, man. I'm going to go sit in the masjid and worship Allah this morning. And just sits in the masjid for a couple hours. This is itikaf if he has the intention to do so. And this is why some of the mashayikh, they tell us, like when there are durus in the masjid, or, when you plan on going to just stay from Maghrib until Isha, or Asr until Isha, or Asr till Maghrib, whatever the case might be, whenever you enter the masjid, have an intention of itikaf, because you're going to get rewarded, inshallah ta'ala, for itikaf, for having that, I'm going here just to worship Allah. But that means you're not pulling out your phone and looking at CNN or Craigslist or whatever you might look at on your phone, Instagram or whatever the case might be. You're going there to worship Allah. And if you have that intention, not only do you get the salatul duha, whatever the case you might be going at whatever time you're going, you're also going to get the reward of itikaf. And this is why he says, if the time that you're going to make itikaf in is going to be during the time of an obligatory prayer. Right? So this is what he said. وَكَانَ الْمُعْتَقِفُ, and the one who is mimman is from those تَجِبُ عَلَيْهِ الْجَمَاعَةُ. So the person making itikaf, it is obligatory. He's one of those who it is obligatory upon him to make Salatul Jama'ah. If he's from those. So for example, you have the Mumayyiz, the child, not the baligh, but just the Mumayyiz. The Salat is not obligatory upon him. He's not baligh yet. But if a young kid, we read about Ibn Taymiyyah and stuff, being young and being super dedicated. If a young 7 or 8 year old says, man, I want to go just sit in the masjid for a while, worship Allah, may Allah bless our children to be like this, right? Then if he's that person that Salah is obligatory upon him, then he has to be in a masjid that makes Salatul Jama'ah. Otherwise, he doesn't have to be in one of those. He could do it in any masjid. لأن الاعتكاف في مسجد لا تقام فيه صلاة الجماعة يقتدي, it requires the masjid which does not establish congregational prayer, yaqtadi, requires or necessitates tarka al-jama'ati wa hiya wajibatun alayhi, and it is obligatory. It requires him to leave alone or leave off the congregational prayer while it is an obligation upon him. So if we just go back and try to just translate what was said for a second here. So he says that the masjid in which the mu'takif, that the person makes itikaf in, establishes the prayer and congregation. And that's if, وَذَلِكَ إِذَا كَانَتْ, that's if the time frame of itikaf, during it, there's going to be an obligatory prayer, and if the person making itikaf, it's obligatory upon him to make salat and jama'at, because itikaf in the masjid, which does not establish prayer in jama'at, requires the person to leave off the jama'at while it is an obligation upon him. O tikraru, or it requires tikrara, or tikrara. Why? Because yaqtadi tikrara khuruji al-mu'taqifi kulli waqt, or it requires him to leave out of the masjid every time there's a prayer. We know that the mu'taqif, the person making itikaf, can leave the masjid if there's a necessity. He can leave the masjid if there is a necessity, right? Such as the bathroom, to take a shower, to do certain things quickly. If his family came to bring him some food, he wanted to walk her home at night, as the Prophet ﷺ did. Like this, it's permissible for him to leave the masjid for a necessity. So if the salah is a necessity upon him, then he'd have to leave every time. And this is not something suitable for the mu'takif to be doing, leaving the masjid 5 times a day, right? Plus wudu, plus bathroom, plus that doesn't make sense. وَهَذَا يُنَافِي الْمَقْصُودَ مِنَ الْإِتِكَافِ, and this negates the goal of making itikaf. Someone leaving in and out 5, 6, 7 times a day, it negates the goal of itikaf. أَمَّا الْمَرْأَةِ, as for the woman, فَيَصِحُّ اعتكافها في كل مسجد. As for the woman, then she can make itikaf in any masjid, the masjid on the side of the road, any masjid. سواء أقيمت فيه الجماعة أم لا, whether the congregation is made in it or not. Why? Because the woman is not obligated to attend congregational prayer. هذا إذا لم يترتب يترتب على اعتكافها فتنة. This is if her itikaf there's not going to be any fitna. She's in a safe place. She's not tempting men. Men are not tempting her. Blah, blah, blah. This is if her itikaf lam yatarattab ala itikafiha fitnatun. If there is no fitna linked to it or associated to her itikaf. Sorry. فإن ترتب على ذلك فتنة فإذا ترتب على ذلك فتنة, but if there is some type of fitna linked to it or associated with it, muni'at. She is prohibited. She is prevented. Wal afdalu, and it is best, and yakun al masjidu, that the masjid alladhi ya'takifu fihi tuqamu fihi al jumu'ah. That Salatul Jumu'ah is established in it. It is better that the masjid that he's making itikaf in has Salatul Jumu'ah established in it. Lakin, however, ذَلِكَ لَيْسَ شَرْطًا لِلْإِتِكَاف. That is not a condition for itikaf. Right? A person can miss one Jumu'ah or two Jumu'ahs without an excuse, although it's not recommended. It can be done, right? And if you do itikaf, for example, next to your house in a small masjid, they might not have Jumu'ah because the asl, the origin of the foundation is for there to be only one Jumu'ah in a city. So usually the smaller masjids might have 5 daily prayers, but everybody goes to the main masjid of the city or the main masjid of the neighborhood to make salah and make Jumu'ah in the big masjid. Everyone gets that khutbah, gets that maw'idah, that talk all together, right, from one person. But the rest of the prayers, they can be divided up. Are there any questions about this before Amma reads the last of it?
I got one question about a word.
Okay.
Difference between sewa and siwa with the kasra by the sin. Like siwa, I'll give you a وَكُلُّ مَا سِوَى اللَّهِ عَالِمٌ. And then you have here sawa, meaning whether.
Um,
Could it mean like accept? Not in this case. I'm saying like the other meaning with the siwa.
Can you give me till later? It would figure that out right now. My head
Okay.
is kind of, inshallah, I'll look it up and then I'll put it in the group or something.
Okay. Okay. Number 5. Okay. والخامس الطهارة من الحدث الأكبر. Purification from the big impurity, حدث. فلا يصح اعتكاف لجنوب.
الجنوبي
Oh
مضاف
yeah.
إليه.
نعم, you're right. نعم, جزاك الله خير. فلا يصح اعتكاف الجنوب. The i'tikaf is not correct for the one who is in the junub state, who from, I guess, sexual intercourse or the other things.
Junub is sexual defilement, meaning he's in a state of sexual defilement from whatever it comes from, right?
Correct. نعم. والنفاس ولا الحيض ولا الحائض from حائض again.
Menstruating woman.
Yes, from the menstruating woman. والنفاس from postpartum bleeding. لعدم جواز لعدم جواز مكث
مكثي
مكث هؤلاء في المسجد.
لعدم, due to the absence of, basically, or something. Adam means impermissible, right? Or not impermissible, but the absence of something that doesn't exist. Adam al-jawaz here means impermissible, due to there not being permission for the mukth to remain,
No.
for these people in the masjid, for these people to remain in the masjid. The one who is junub cannot sit in the masjid. The woman who is on her menses cannot just sit and hang out in the masjid, right? The woman who is on postpartum bleeding, she cannot just sit and hang out in the masjid. Just real quickly, the ulama talk about what about durus. Some of them allow it, some of them don't allow it. You have to look up that issue and figure it out for yourself. Some of them allow it and say this is if she's in a regular class, Quran class, regular classes. Say some women have periods for a long time, nufasa, those there might be 40 days. She's not able to attend a class or do anything for 40 days, and she may not be being taught at home. This is a long time to be missing a dars, to be missing something. So therefore, they allow it. Some do, not all. Anyway, but normally the woman on her menstrual cycle, postpartum bleeding, the one in sexual defilement, male or female, not permissible for them to remain in the masjid. أما
الصيام فليس بشرط في الاعتكاف. As for the fast, it is not a condition for i'tikaf. لما روى عن ابن عمر, what has been narrated from Ibn Umar رضي الله عنه أن عمر قال, that Umar عنهما, I'm sorry, what has been, may Allah be pleased with them, أن عمر قال, Umar said رضي الله عنه, يا رسول الله, O Messenger of Allah, إني نذرت في الجاهلية أن أعتكف ليلة في المسجد الحرام. I have vowed, inni, verily I have vowed, fil jahiliyyah, in the times of ignorance before Islam, and a'takifa laylatan, that I make i'tikaf on one night, fil masjid al-haram, in the masjid al-haram. فقال أوفوا بنذرك, fulfill your, and he said, fulfill your vow, your promise, vow, yeah. فلو كان الصوم no, فلو كان الصوم شرطا, and if fasting was a condition, لما صح اعتكافه في الليل, his i'tikaf, hold on, فلو كان الصوم شرط, it would be correct during i'tikaf at the night. Was that correct?
No, because
Okay.
if fasting was a condition for itikaf, his itikaf would not have been correct at night. لأنه لا صيام فيه, right? Because there's no fasting at nighttime.
Right.
But he was just making itikaf at nighttime. So siyam is not a condition for itikaf. As I said earlier, have the intention for itikaf anytime you go sit in the masjid and get that reward.
No. لأنه لا صيام فيه, because there is no fasting during it or in it at night. ولأنهما عبادتان مفصلتان, and those are two separate worships. فلا يشترط or يشترط.
It should probably yushtaratu too. No.
نعم. فلا يشترط لأحدهما, and it is not stipulated on any of them, any of both of them, I guess.
Either one of them,
Either one of them. نعم.
meaning siyam or itikaf, right?
نعم. وجود الأخرى.
The existence of the
right.
other.
نعم.
The existence of the other. So you don't have to be fasting to make it itikaf, and you don't have to make it itikaf to fast. They're two separate acts of worship. Right? So yeah, that's the end of these two issues that we're going to read today. We got 2 pages left. For those who doubted that we were going to finish, alhamdulillah, they're wrong. We finished. We're going to finish, inshallah ta'ala. We only got a page and a half left. We should finish it. And then Yom Sabt, bi'idhnillah, we'll do a quick test. As for a question here, can you have niyah of itikaf when you go early to masjid to pray Jummah? Of course. Of course. You know, have anytime you're going to go sit in the masjid, even if it's just for salat, you get the reward of salat and you get the reward of itikaf. You get, if you're going to have the niyyah of remaining from one prayer to the next, you can have that and have the ribat and have the itikaf and have the, Allah is merciful. Islam is vast. Alhamdulillah. In my city, they have masajid within 1 mile that have khutbahs. Is this an issue? Normally, back in the days, we would say it's an issue. Back in the days, we would definitely say it's an issue. The Salaf talked about it. There should only be one masjid in the city. Some of the Sahaba used to walk to Jummah 6-7 miles just to go to Jummah. So, let you know, it should be one in a city. Now, our cities have become bigger. So what does that mean? What do we do? Do we still have one in a city? Most of our masjids can't hold everybody in the city. And so then they allow other masajid. And then now they just allow anybody and everybody to do whatever they want, right? You can open up as many masjids as you want on one corner right across the street from each other, whatever you want to do, right? So inshallah, but it's better to go to, that's difficult where it's better to go to. I'm gonna be quiet. What are the rewards of itikaf? It's a worship of Allah. As far as knowing what a reward is, I don't know a specific reward, except that I don't know of one. I can think of one, or maybe it's going to come. We have Zaman al-Itikaf wa mustahabbatihi wa ma yubah lil-mutakif, the time of itikaf, which we kind of talked about today. What are the recommended things and the permissible things? And then al-mubtilat al-itikaf, those things which break the itikaf. I don't know a specific reward. My daughter asked, in school, do the teachers and students pray together? Speaking of secondary school, here in a Muslim country, yes, the teachers and students should pray together. But if they're girls, then they're not obligated to have a congregational salat, although it is the sunnah, since the Prophet ﷺ placed a muezzin for the women and had them all pray together in a row. It would be the sunnah, but it's not obligatory for the women to pray together. As for a male school, then the males should be praying together, teachers and students. I mean, may Allah bless her curiosity. No. I mean, any other questions on this? Jazakumullah khairan. Inshallah ta'ala, tomorrow we'll try to finish this section of the book. Hopefully you guys are benefiting, and hopefully I'm benefiting. Hopefully you guys are benefiting, and hopefully the listeners are coming in and watching the video later on and getting something out of it. We might have taken 11 classes, but it's not something that would take 11 classes for you to go over with somebody. If you're not going over translation and all of this, figuring out words and stuff like this. So if you just want to sit with your family just to go over the rulings, wallahi, it's beneficial. You know, don't make them listen to 11 hours of me, right? But you could probably summarize this in 2 hours or less, this whole 11 classes that we'll have, inshallah. And you still got time to do that with them before Ramadan. جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.